Joe Rogan becomes the latest celebrity to blast Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they f***ed up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you were a key part of this.
This is what you get, though.
Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, I'd love to work with Blake again.
So what was it like working with Blake Lively on the set of It Ends With Us? Justin Baldoni dropped a number of text messages with crew members detailing just how difficult Blake Lively was to work with.
With Blake again. So, what was it like working with Blake Lively on the set of It Ends With Us? Justin Baldoni dropped a number of text messages with crew members detailing just how difficult Blake Lively was to work with. Ryan Reynolds, known for his quick wit and charming personality, is reportedly shaken after Joe Rogan dropped shocking claims about his wife, Blake Lively. According to Rogan, Lively has been operating with a hidden agenda that could jeopardize Reynolds' reputation and career. The explosive revelation has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, leaving fans
Can ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise.
They're
the whole thing's crazy. And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case
He's
there,
going hard
too.
in the paint. But
He
that's
should.
what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did it for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that who's like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then he's like, all right,
Dude,
enough.
he posted the receipts.
Oh,
He's like,
receipts
oh,
are
remember our
crazy.
text exchange? Bah, bah,
How about
bah,
she
bah.
told him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding,
With fun
and then
ass.
part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it, because everyone usually just bows
Because everyone's
down.
scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list. Like, they're the queen.
It's
king.
20.
Joe Rogan criticized Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, stating that they messed up by getting involved in a legal dispute with Justin Baldoni. According to Rogan and Brendan Schaub, Lively allegedly attempted to take control of a movie franchise that Baldoni owned. They discussed how the franchise, based on a series of books, originally belonged to Baldoni, but Lively and Reynolds reportedly used the hashtag MeToo.
Now, Baldoni's lawsuit is 179 pages, so in case you don't have time to read through it all, I want to read you a direct quote from the complaint that essentially summarizes everything that Baldoni is alleging. He says, Lively wields immense power as one of the world's best-known celebrities. She set out to destroy plaintiffs' livelihoods and businesses if they did not bend to her incessant demands, and when they refused to give way, she did exactly that, accusing them of foul and reprehensible sexual misconduct. Now, I reached out to Baldoni's attorney, who tells me that they have copious amounts of text messages and emails and other evidence that they say proves that Baldoni did nothing wrong. I reached out to a representative for Blake and Ryan. They have not responded yet.
So Blake Lively files to dismiss $400 million lawsuit, calling it an abuse of the legal system. But what does this mean exactly? Let's break it down. So this actually isn't headline news. Just this week, Ryan Reynolds also filed to dismiss the lawsuit, but what does it mean? So this is specifically referring to Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against them. They want the judge to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit against them, like saying, hey judge, we don't deserve to be sued. Can you please just get him away from us? Her publicist Leslie Sloan and the New York Times have also filed motions to dismiss, but why is this so important right now? Because the judge just settled the protective order dispute, which means the next phase is to move into discovery, which means digging up the text messages, digging up the emails, deposing people, Taylor Swift. And along with a motion to dismiss, we have Leslie Sloan and the New York Times, and presumably next will be Blake and Ryan, are filing a motion to stay discovery, meaning they don't want to move into discovery just yet until the judge decides on all of their motions to dismiss. Long story short, it's a delay tactic. It seems like they don't want to move into discovery, probably because discovery is going to get very messy. Again, the text messages, the emails, we're going to get into all the records, we're going to get into the depositions. Taylor Swift, Hugh Jackman, Bradley Cooper. You know for a fact, Brian Friedman is coming for all of them in the depositions. Now, why might Khaleesi and her dragons want to delay the discovery process? One theory is that we have another simple favor. The official premiere is coming out soon, so we may not want to taint that any further, right? Oh, but there's a bigger reason we may want to delay this process. This very, very messy process. Bigger than another simple favor, Ryan Reynolds' company is about to go public. Sounds like a very lucrative deal. Now, we wouldn't want to hurt any chances of a really big sale by having messy details about this messy lawsuit come out. Might also be why Ryan Reynolds came out so hard, doubling down on calling Justin Baldoni a predator in his motion to dismiss this week. I don't know, just a theory, but the timing's a little convenient. Am I right? Of all of them, I would say the New York Times has the strongest chance of getting their motion to dismiss granted because there are special privileges that the press does have, and we're learning how they, in my opinion, abuse those privileges, but they have the strongest case in a motion to dismiss, in my opinion, but we'll see. I doubt Blake or Leslie Sloan or Ryan Reynolds will get dismissed. The New York Times might, but I'm predicting Brian Friedman's going to come back swinging pretty hard to keep them in this. We'll see.
The ongoing legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is heating up, with their lawsuits against each other set to go to trial on March 9, 2026. As major players like Ryan Reynolds, The New York Times, and publicist Leslie Sloan attempt to remove themselves from Baldoni's escalating $400 million defamation and extortion suit, Judge Louis J. Lyman recently described the case as a feud between PR firms.
Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, has just shot back at Blake Lively's motion to dismiss. Blake is abusing the legal system. 3 exclamation points. Brian Friedman tells TMZ Ms. Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system. Friedman says stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda.
Court of public opinion has already spoken. Everyone's upset at Blake Lively. They're upset at Ryan Reynolds. She's a unique defendant in this case where she's going to be able to use this brand new shiny law. There's not a whole lot of cases that have been decided on it, but it looks very broad. And the way that it's been given, I mean, I have to think that Justin Baldoni's team is looking at this. Of course, they're going to come out publicly and say this is a bunch of nonsense. You know, this is not a big deal. But if I was the lawyer representing Justin Baldoni on this would be a punch to my gut today. I would be going, uh-oh, what are we going to do with this?
It's a legal judo move for sure on the part of Lively and Baldoni and Friedman and their team. They got to take it very seriously. And I'm sure that they're going to have arguments and they're going to mount a good defense.
However, Joe Rogan has added fuel to the fire by mocking Reynolds for his March 18th dismissal motion, suggesting that the Deadpool star and Lively had ulterior motives in their involvement with It Ends With Us. Rogan speculated that the Hollywood power couple aimed to take over the entire movie franchise, though no solid evidence supports this claim beyond Baldoni's own sarcastic remarks.
Whose side are you on?
Well, Baldoni looks like, what's the word? He's got like a, you remember going to school with that kid that always like, raised his hand real quick in school for extra credit?
Yeah.
But then he also like hit on the recess teacher, remember? And she was like 35 and he was 12.
Right.
But she still was like, well, my husband's going to be gone next week, so maybe come over and make a play kickball. But
oh, now I remember. Yes, I do remember.
Baldoni was the hot kid that could fuck a teacher. So he's got that in his head on a movie set, which is, as Gizmo said, yeah.
The Howie Mandel Does Stuff podcast. Hosted by comedian Howie Mandel and his daughter Jacqueline Schultz, the show recently featured a segment titled, Dr. Phil Weighs In on Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively. In this episode, comedian Adam Ray impersonates Dr. Phil to humorously discuss the ongoing legal dispute between actors Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. The impersonation offers a satirical take on the situation, adding a comedic perspective to the serious allegations involved.
Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment was not on my 2024 bingo card, but here we are. In Blake's lawsuit, she is alleging there was a meeting that included her husband, Ryan, where she demanded no more showing of nude photos or images of women to Blake, no more mention of Baldoni's alleged previous porno addiction, no more discussions about sexual conquest in front of Blake and others, no further mentions of cast and crew's genitalia, no more inquiries about Blake's weight, and no more further mention about her father who passed away. It goes on to say no more adding of sex scenes and oral sex or on-camera climaxing outside of the scope of the script that she approved. Justin's lawyer basically said this was Blake's attempt to fix her negative reputation. As we know, this last year, she went from being a Hollywood sweetheart to basically being disliked by the fans.
Lively's complaint outlines multiple instances of alleged misconduct by Baldoni during the filming of It Ends With Us, accusing him of fostering a hostile work environment. The allegations include displaying inappropriate content, openly discussing personal intimate experiences, and making unsolicited remarks about Lively's body and weight. She further claims that after voicing her concerns, Baldoni and his production company, Wayfarer Studios, launched a retaliatory smear campaign in an attempt to damage her.
Only It Ends With Us cast member that still follows Justin Baldoni has made a comment about all of the backlash the movie received, and some of the drama between Justin and Blake. Hassan, who plays the husband of Jenny Slate's character, said that he can't speak to anyone else's experience, but he said that his experience was that everyone was professional and easy to work with. He said it was lovely and everybody was lovely, and afterwards he just ended up feeling a bit disillusioned and confused about everything that was happening in the news. He said it was a very strange, bizarre year, and that as a comic he was definitely laughing at a lot of moments, which we can totally understand. This already adds to the weirdness that was going on within the cast with Jenny Slate just ignoring questions about Justin. Then Brandon Sklenar's comment about Blake and defending her. I feel like Hassan is giving us an inside look at what it was really like. He even said everybody was professional on set, basically denying that Justin was ever unprofessional. But I don't know. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
While Hassan Minhaj, who played Marshall in It Ends With Us, addressed speculation regarding on-set tensions among the cast. In an interview with Esquire, he stated, "I can't speak to other people's experiences, but everyone was very professional and kind to me. It was a great experience, and everyone was wonderful." Minhaj expressed surprise upon learning about the alleged conflicts, noting that he was unaware of any such issues during his time on set.
I promise you, I've been trying to think of other things to talk about, but another day, another filing. And this actually has to do with one of the most interesting aspects of this entire case. Blake Lively is now being sued by Jed Wallace of Street Relations Inc. He has said that she has cost him millions of dollars in reputational harm and is suing her for defamation. Lively's counsel released a statement saying that this is just someone else that's trying to sue her into oblivion for speaking out, and that they are confident that this will get dismissed, which I find that to be really interesting because this is someone that they alleged in her original complaint was really responsible or had a part in allegedly the whole astroturfing, because they alleged that Wallace was responsible for planting negative comments and negative story.
This lawsuit